Carole Malone has erupted at incompetent Rachel Reeves over reports she plans to target the rich in a tax grab to plug an ever-widening black hole in Britain's finances. The Daily Express columnist also criticised the Chancellor for blaming Britain's sluggish economy on Brexit, suggesting she was deflecting from her own catastrophic handling of the economy. In today's episode of Podcast Daily Expresso, Carole was asked how many more tax grabs the Chancellor can conjure up to find the £50 billion some experts say she needs to balance the country's books. Carole said, "This is a woman who is fiscally incompetent and yet she is still in charge of our economy. She's about to hit the top 1%, who pay 30% of all the tax gathered in this country. She's going to try and cripple those people." Figures from the Institute for Fiscal Studies show the share of income tax paid by the top 1% of taxpayers rose from 11% in 1978-79 to 29% in 2023-24. Carole's criticism of the Chancellor's potential tax plan was sparked by reports she is plotting a £2 billion tax raid on middle-class professionals such as lawyers, accountants and doctors. Brexit also features in today's podcast after Ms. Reeves said Britain's exit from the EU had made the economy and productivity weaker than initially forecast when the UK voted to leave the bloc. In another hard-hitting installment of the daily podcast, Carole fumed, "You know this government is in deep trouble when it reaches out to blame Brexit, which happened more than 10 years ago. To use it as a scapegoat for her own catastrophic mistakes. I mean, this woman has been in power for 14 months and inherited one of the fastest growing economies in the G7. Now we are £3 trillion in debt. The cost of paying off the borrowing is £100 billion, that's just servicing the debt. We're £11.5 billion more in debt now than we were in January, and she has done all of this. It's not Brexit. It's got nothing to do with Brexit at all. This is to do with the decisions she has made." Carole said the Chancellor's decisions to hike the rate of employers' national insurance contributions had led to businesses closing and unemployment rocketing. The journalist accused Labour of being pathologically addicted to public spending, adding the government should have cut the welfare bill and public service wages, but instead handed out more money that the country can't afford. She warned, "Until they learn to cut public spending, this is just going to get worse and worse and worse." Carole said nothing the Chancellor does in her budget on November 26 will make any difference to Britain's debt, and her complaints about Brexit came on the back of polling which suggested Leave voters had buyer's remorse. She said, "It's a bit stupid. People are forgetting we became independent 5 years ago, around about the time a little virus called COVID took hold and wrecked almost every economy around the world." The broadcaster asked why the UK would want to be part of a failing bloc, pointing to trade deals the UK has struck since Brexit with the US, India, New Zealand and Australia, as well as higher GDP growth than countries such as Italy. In a wide-ranging episode, Carole also discussed the Labour government's faltering national grooming gangs inquiry, the future of safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips, Prince Andrew and the monarchy.